Ach so, nein, was mache ich?
Ich meine, erst wenn wir dann die Sachen uns anhören, oder?
Ich wollte so wie gewohnt.
Ja.
Alright. Ready?
Bist du soweit?
Ja, ich glaube schon. Ich bin mega müde und mein Magen knurrt ab und zu, aber...
Okay.
Did you get that? I'm so confused.
Also ich verstehe nur Bahnhof.
You only understand train station? It's all Greek to me.
Understanding Train Station. Living between cultures with Josh and Phelan.
Welcome back to a new episode of Understanding Train Station.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Josh.
I'm Feli.
And we're in Germany.
Yeah, we've been in weird locations recently.
Yeah, you
guys.
Twice
we were in my living room, which was kind of echoey, reverby.
Yeah, and I realized I think I may have messed something up with my microphone. So sorry about that on the interview with my high school German teacher.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that we're talking to you guys since that came out. So yeah, technical mistake on my part, I think, but hopefully you guys...
It's okay. I don't think anyone complained, really. We tried to fix it as much as we could in the post-production. But also, we're again in a different environment today. Well, you guys have seen this before, but it's been a while.
What episodes have we recorded here? I know we did our interview with Danya here.
And then we did at least one more, just the two of us, which I think was the one about Josh in Germany. So, when he first came here. That might have been it, honestly. Or maybe we did a third one. I'm not quite sure.
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I think it was just the two.
Either just two. But yeah, you guys recognize the background with the cool sound. What's it called?
The
panels.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're in a real
called.
studio, basically.
Yeah, absorbing panels. So we're in Munich.
Yes.
Long story short.
Welcome to Munich,
both of us,
everyone.
which was kind of planned and also kind of a coincidence. I was going to go to Munich anyways.
Yeah.
And then I just realized, okay, if I'm going to go at the end of July or early August anyways, then I might as well coordinate it with you so that we get to see each other both in Cincinnati and here. And I went here this last Thursday. Well, when you guys see this, it's already going to be weeks later.
Yeah.
But I left Cincinnati on Thursday and then you left on Friday.
Exactly.
So.
Which that wasn't really necessarily planned.
No.
But it's just funny. It's also just so weird. I saw you last week at our friend's place and then at your place. And now just two days later, we're in Munich.
Yeah, both of us. It's crazy how we're both jet lagged a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually more jet lagged than
Probably
you right now.
because I'm still in the transition period.
I wasn't as jet lagged yesterday, which was my first full day in Germany. But today, I got up early. I already recorded a video, and I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, we should have coffee on the table instead of.
Yeah, I don't even drink coffee.
I was gonna say you're not a coffee drinker
no.
though. I made sure to down a couple espressos before coming here. So if I'm speaking too quickly, let me know. But
I think it's fine. My mom bought me some mate.
Nice.
The South American tea drink that in Germany they make that tea into a soda kind of thing, and it's almost like an energy drink, but it's not nearly as unhealthy
as the Red Bulls that you normally like.
Yeah, well, I don't like them. Coffee doesn't do anything for me, so it's probably also more placebo than anything else.
Exactly. I feel like that's also coffee obviously has a lot of caffeine in it, but I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
One thing that I realized this morning, because we just got a new roommate.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
So one of my roommates moved out and a new person moved in. He moved in at the beginning of this week while I was in the U.S.
Okay.
And I met him for the first time yesterday, but just briefly because I was jet lagged and he was in his room. But then this morning I had a coffee and I was talking to him and I realized I was speaking really quickly. His English is great, so it wasn't a big deal.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so if I'm speaking too quickly, I'll try to slow down somewhat.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine. Okay, quick greetings from Josh and Feli from the future.
Hello.
This is us. This is us in September. I'm in Cincinnati and Josh is in Munich. But when we recorded this episode, we did not know yet that we were going to have a sponsor. So we're here to talk about the sponsor real quick, which, as you know, is Lingoda, which is an online language school where you can learn a language intensively for 3 months and get to a point where you can confidently speak the language. And they are having one last Lingoda sprint this year, starting at the end of October 31st on Halloween. You can sign up by October 15th. So for all of you, we said this last time, for all of you who had this as a New Year's resolution to work in your language skills, whether it's German or French or Spanish or English or business English even, they have an extra business English class. This is your chance to do that still, to fulfill your New Year's resolution before the year's over. And if you follow through you, you can even get up to 100% cash back.
So as we've talked about in the past, there are two options that Lingoda offers. The Super Sprint, which is where you attend 30 classes a month for 3 months, and if you meet all of the requirements, then you get 100% cash back. The other option is the Sprint, where you attend 15 classes a month for 3 months, and if you meet all of the requirements, then you get the 50% cash back. Both plans require a deposit before you can start, which is a €49 or $59 deposit, and each plan is paid in 3 monthly installments, so you pay as you go.
And the cool thing is that you can even save €20, which equals $25 if you use our code CHAMP21. We're also going to put it in the show notes below and in the info box on YouTube, CHAMP21.
And some of the great things about Lingoda, which I know you guys have heard us talk about in the past, but there really are some great opportunities and some flexibility that is with the Lingoda program that really can help to your learning experience. First of all, the fact that they have really flexible learning hours. I know through my experience, it's been really easy just to find the class that's going to fit my schedule. So they offer classes 24/7, so you can learn anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, any time zone, really.
Yeah, exactly. I know you have to keep the time zone, but even when I was in the US, I was able to figure out what classes would work for me, even though I was hooked up in the German time zone. Another huge benefit is the fact that they have native speakers who are their teachers, so you will always have a native speaker that you learn from, which both Feli and I know is such a huge advantage in your language learning experience. They have experienced teachers with real-life language experience, including local expressions and cultural references, which I know I've talked about how I've been able to kind of use some of the local French expressions that I've learned from my roommates and friends here, which sometimes surprises the teachers.
Words.
But exactly, but it gets a laugh out of the teachers, which is always fun because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
And another huge advantage is the class size, where it's small groups, a maximum of 5 people, but normally it's just 2 to 3 other students. So you're forced to speak and really interact with your fellow students and the teachers during the class.
Yeah, so the hard facts, once again, you can sign up by October 15th. It'll start on October 31st. You can either do the regular sprint or the super sprint, so either 15 classes a month for 3 months or 30 classes a month. And with our code CHAMP21, you will save €20 on the deposit, and you can just sign up through the link in the show notes and the info box.
And with that, heading back to Josh and Feli of the past. But before we do that, we just want to mention that we are now in September, and we recorded this episode. When did we record it? It was
beginning
August?
of August, yeah.
So some of the corona rules and requirements for travel that we talked about have changed in the meantime. So just remember that when you're listening to this episode that it was recorded prior to this actual date. So some of the requirements have changed. Even Europeans are now going to be able to come to the U.S. Starting in November, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that wasn't accurate at the time of the recording of this main episode.
Yeah. And with that, back to past Feli and past Josh.
But yeah, so we're both in Munich now.
How was your trip here?
The trip actually was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I was a little frustrated at first on the long flight from Detroit to Amsterdam because the screen wasn't working for me.
Really?
And it wasn't working for probably half of the plane. And I asked one of the flight attendants about it, just try to be nice, like, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware, I'm sure you are, but some of the screens aren't working. Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, and it's not going to work. I'd be happy to compensate you.
With money or like
that's
miles,
what he said.
or, okay.
And then he said, we'll once we get in the air, though, we'll look at it. And luckily, they were able to restart it, and it worked somewhat, but not well. So I only really watched one movie.
Damn, that sucks.
Actually, no, I was able to finally get a second one started, but I fell asleep right away once it started, which was good.
Yeah.
But other than that, the trip was relatively smooth. How was yours?
Yeah, I think mine was like, I don't want to say mine was smoother than yours, but like I know that you had 2 stops. I only had 1 stop, which was cool. No major delays. My first flight from Cincinnati to Washington had a slight delay, but we still actually landed there on time and everything. No, never mind. It was the second flight that had a delay. I was so confused in my head. It was the second flight that had a delay, but we still landed in Munich on time. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to say. It was kind of funny because like I arrived in Washington at the airport, and it was like a ghost town at first. Mm-hmm. And I just like walked through it, got to my gate, got some food, sat down there. I actually finished up the podcast episode with Frau König.
Okay.
Like at the gate, uploaded that, made the thumbnail and stuff. Because I had like 3 hours. And 2 hours later, the whole thing was so crowded that I got up and like basically went to the bathroom just to have some space to myself. Because everyone who was on that flight was in that little gate and just gathering around the whole thing and like blocking the hallway even. And what they did, which they have to do this, they actually do this a lot better now than over Christmas, which is the last time that I flew between America and Germany. This time the airlines were they were prepared a lot better for checking the requirements for the different destination countries when it came to vaccination cards or like test requirements, etc. So they had to check everyone's vaccination card or test at the counter first. And
when you checked in.
So not when you checked in, but when you got to the gate.
Okay.
So to the gate to the international flight. What did I fly to Germany with last time? I think it was Air France last time, which like you flew Delta, right?
Yeah, it's the Delta partner.
And when I did that in December, which like they're connected, Air France and Delta, so like usually that should be like about the same. They did that too, but they were really unorganized when they did it back in December. And this time they were super organized because they had like 20 different destination countries that they had to check the requirements for, because not everyone flew just to Munich. A lot of people flew somewhere else from Munich, and they needed to check that for all these different countries, because in some countries the test has to be 48 hours before you leave. In some countries it can be 72 hours before. In some countries it's fine to just have the vaccination proof, which is the case for Germany. So basically, because they didn't repeat the announcement at the gate, at one point all these people that had already gathered there all lined up at once at the gate and then blocked everything. Because they didn't know.
That's weird though, because the way that it worked with Delta was that you just had to show when you checked in and like dropped off your bag. Like I wasn't able to check in online, probably because an international flight was in my booking. Also because I had a one-way, like back to Germany, they had to prove that I can stay in Germany. Yeah. So I had to show them like my residency permit and everything. But they checked all of my documents at check-in as opposed to at the gate. But one thing that was weird about my trip, the flight from Detroit to Amsterdam, I didn't have to show a boarding pass. I just gave them my passport, and then they used a facial recognition software.
Oh, that's what they...
I think they've done that before, but it was so weird.
I've heard that at the airport that there was an announcement, and I thought it was for my flight first, but I think it must have been for another flight, where they said the same thing, like after you scan your boarding pass, you're going to have to step up to the face recognition thing, and then they didn't do that for my flight after all. That's crazy.
I'm trying to remember if at some point Delta has like that data of what my face looks like.
Probably.
But like,
I mean, yeah, probably.
I mean, they must have. But where they got it from, like, at some point, did I give them a picture of me?
They scanned the passport, right?
True.
They might just compare it to the picture on the passport.
That's possible.
I'm assuming. I don't know. Well, if you guys know, let us know.
Super weird.
But no, to be honest though, overall, I am becoming a bigger fan of United every single time. So I flew United Airlines, and I flew with them after Christmas. So like I flew to Germany for Christmas with Delta / Air France, and then flew back with United. And every time I fly United, their like apps and text message service is so great. Like you land at your first layover and it'll literally just send you a text message. Welcome to this airport. You have so and so many minutes to get to your next gate, which is this gate. If you need a airport map, click on this link. And then the app is really, really good too. So I could check in online, and they also online had all this information listed, what I needed for which flight, what I needed for which destination. Super what am I like?
Well organized.
Übersichtlich, well organized, well structured. And then you had to upload your test or vaccination proof beforehand as a picture, and you could only do it like the day before, I think. And then it said pending, like we're checking if this is the right thing, and then they approved it basically, which is awesome because then you like know that you have the right documents to get to that country. The only thing really was just at the gate. But I think it's also just because the Washington airport is very narrow. Yeah. And people just blocked everything up. But basically, my trip was very smoothly besides that. And I just had my window seat, which I always need because, first of all, that's the best way I can sleep. And then also I get motion sick. So
I'm the exact opposite.
I mean, aisle to get up and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like having to. Yeah, I like to get up, and I use the bathroom relatively often.
That's
true.
So
I don't have to disturb the people to get out of the aisle. I always try to get an aisle seat. And I mean, every once in a while I'll sit by the window. It's nice to look out the window, but at the same time, I would almost rather just have my aisle seat.
Yeah,
just
no,
for
I
peace
need
of mind.
my window seat always. And I didn't even watch a movie. I watched a couple episodes of a show, and then I actually downloaded stuff to my laptop on Netflix because I started the last season of this German Netflix show called Biohackers.
Okay.
At the gate, I started it there, and then I needed to finish it. So like I downloaded it to my laptop and just finished that, and then just slept.
Yeah, I read a little. But
So yeah, now you guys are updated
yes, exactly.
to the detail.
It was like our update on our trip together too, because we didn't really talk about it with each other yet.
It just happened basically 2 days ago.
But yeah, being back in Germany is kind of weird for me.
Really?
I mean,
We've only been gone for what, 2 weeks?
I know, but like I said in the US, I got like really accustomed to being back in the US quickly. Today's a little better than yesterday. Yesterday was just super confusing. Just like my brain couldn't process it all. But I think that just has to do with the fact that I didn't get much sleep on the plane. And I mean, that first day is always kind of a blur.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a weird experience like this being home now and going and visiting the US and then coming back here. It's just, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like a weird, surreal feeling. But I'm happy to be back. It's cool to be here too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that like you're home visiting your family, but at the same time, like all your things that you didn't bring, they're at your other home. Like my cat is at home, but it's not here. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I forgot a couple things too. Forgot my camera charger, which is awesome. I know I had it in my hands. I like already wrapped it around my hand to pack it, and I don't know what happened with it. I could have sworn I packed it, but it's not here. So I must have left it at home, which is kind of annoying because I could only record one video now, and then the battery was out.
I guess it's some forced vacation for you, right?
I guess so. I'm just going to order one though.
Well, until it gets here. And with Amazon, it'll probably be here tomorrow, but...
Yeah, or like 2 days or something, yeah. That's all my updates, though.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw each other, so we don't have a ton to update on. But we decided that we would meet here in Germany to record another episode and continue with the Dialect series. Last time we did an episode like this was... who knows when for you guys. For us, it was last week, but for you guys, it'll be quite a few weeks away.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, we asked you guys to send in more recordings, and we're still working through the recordings that a few of you had sent before.
Yeah, we hadn't gotten through the whole list of recordings. I think we had like 6 or 7 left that we couldn't finish last time because you actually had to leave when we recorded the last episode.
Oh, that's what I was going to say too.
Oh yeah, global entry.
Global
thing.
entry.
How did that work?
I mean, I haven't done the global entry because you only do that coming into the country.
Oh, I'm dumb. Yeah.
Except now I'm interested. Where do they stamp your passport?
What do you mean?
For you leaving the U.S., when do they stamp your passport?
They don't.
They don't?
No.
Oh. Wait, what?
Why would they stamp my passport to leave the U.S.?
They stamp my passport when I leave Germany or leave the Schengen area, yeah.
Oh, no, they don't.
And do they stamp it when you come in?
To the U.S.?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how do they know when you leave?
Do they still? I don't know now with my green card, honestly. I don't remember if
That's
they
weird.
stamped it last time. Probably, though. I think they do. I think that usually they do. I just don't know if they've done it since I had my green card. I think so, though.
But they definitely didn't stamp it when you left.
No. I don't know where they would do that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because when I leave, I mean, you go through the TSA in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens.
But where do they stamp your passport when you leave Germany?
Well,
at this little pass control thing. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that because they don't do anything to my German passport. You guys are probably really confused right now because this is like such an insider talk. If you've never traveled between like the EU and the US, you probably don't know what we're talking about. But when you leave Germany or probably any other country within the European Union, you go through a pass control first, like before even getting to... No, after TSA. It's after TSA,
so
right?
Leaving Europe is a little more complicated than leaving the US. So in my case, I flew from Munich to Amsterdam, and my passport wasn't checked or stamped in Munich, but rather when I changed terminals from a EU internal...
Right, when you left the EU.
When I left the EU or left the Schengen area is what it's called, that's when they actually stamped my passport. So my passport stamps show Amsterdam as opposed to Munich.
Okay, interesting. See, like, they don't stamp my passport as a member of the European Union leaving. So I didn't know they did that.
So then my brain just assumed, okay, they don't stamp my passport when I leave the US because I'm an American citizen, but I assumed that they would stamp yours, but I guess they didn't.
No, I know that they keep record of who leaves the country, but not in forms of a stamp. I think they just do it somehow in their system.
Yeah.
They scan your passport when you check in or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Interesting. So you don't talk to any border agent when you leave just TSA?
No.
That's crazy. But what I was trying to get at earlier with the whole global entry thing is I applied for global entry. I had my interview in Cincinnati, and with global entry, which is an expedited immigration process into the U.S. when you're coming from abroad, that's only available to American citizens, American green card holders, or certain other countries with special privileges. You also get TSA pre-check. So I got to go through TSA pre-check leaving Cincinnati.
Which means that just TSA is a lot quicker,
It's
right?
a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Normally in Cincinnati, it's not bad, but it was like a 20-minute wait in the normal line when
Really?
I left.
For me,
yeah.
like I just walked through.
That's how it normally is that
Yeah.
it's super quick. But this time there was a 20-minute wait, and I didn't need more than 3 minutes because I just got to go to the TSA pre-check, didn't have to take off my shoes, take off my belt.
You don't have to take off your shoes
No.
then? Oh, that's worth it for me.
You don't have to take your laptop out of your bag.
Really?
Yeah, it was super easy.
I mean, I don't want to doubt this whole system, but that seems weird. Like, why would you, just because someone went through that interview, why would you trust them more with like the stuff that they bring on the plane?
Yeah, I mean, they do extensive background check, they say.
Yeah, but still, you could still, bring something that's not allowed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they're putting trust in you.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh. That doesn't sound like the US
No.
usually works.
So
Interesting.
But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Getting to go through security relatively quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. And then like next time, probably for Christmas, when you go back to the US, you're not going to have to wait in line really to go through immigration. But
Exactly.
You're just
It'll
gonna...
at least be a much shorter line.
Is it this kiosk thingy then?
Yeah, there's a kiosk where you then have to go and put your passport and they scan it.
Which is kind of what I do as a German citizen
Yeah.
entering Germany.
Which is, the European setup is a lot faster and more high tech, I feel like, than the American one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to update you guys when I finally go through that process going into the US.
Maybe I should consider applying for that too. I'd like never really considered it because I think it costs a little bit. And then like I knew that the process takes a while and you have to do the interview
Yeah.
and everything. So like I never really bothered applying for it, but maybe
Yeah.
I should, because every time I book a flight into the US, I have to consider that my layover has to be long enough for me to actually get through immigration, because sometimes you're in line I've been in line for like 2 or 3 hours before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never had it that bad, but I've stood in line
like
for a while.
Chicago airport when 3 flights land at the same time and they
Yeah.
have only 2 counters open. It can be bad. Like I think last time for Christmas, it was literally only my flight and it still took about an hour
Wow.
to go through, because they question you a lot when you enter the US. For me, not so much anymore because I have the green card, but if you're a tourist or on any other kind of visa, they ask you all kinds of questions.
See, I don't know that experience
Yeah.
because it's me just as a citizen returning. But
Yeah.
I've heard horror
And I know in
stories.
Germany, they don't ask you as many questions when you enter on a visa.
That was super cool this time when I entered the EU. I just put my passport and my residency permit, not a single question, just a stamp.
See, for me, I have that same,
Yeah.
I mean, even like a higher status almost with the green card,
Yeah.
right? And they still ask me all these questions.
Yeah.
Not as many anymore. Before that, on like another visa, you usually have to show proof too, like
Oh, wow.
your flight back usually, or like your work contract, or they will ask you questions about your job to just see if you have an answer
Wow.
to their like detailed questions. Like they'll ask you about like, what's your position called exactly? Who's your supervisor?
Wow.
What do you do? Etc.
Yeah, I mean, they asked questions for me before I had my residency permit, but nothing that intense.
I know Germany is a little more easygoing with that, which you can criticize or not. I don't know what's better, but
So,
yeah,
should we,
that's that.
I was going to say, we started to introduce dialects and then we jumped back to travel. And now I think we should actually get started with the
Yes.
dialects.
Let's go back to that. So I'm on our little Anchor FM website where you guys could submit your 1 minute long voice messages of you speaking in your dialect or accent, whether it's German or English, and then either give us something to guess what you're saying. That's, I think, what most people did, or like some people also just gave us some comments on their own dialect. But yeah, let's
I think
keep
we were
guessing.
excited too last time because we had a few more English speaking.
Yes, because the first
examples.
episode, it was mostly just German accents, which is
Yeah.
cool too, but
There are more of them.
yeah. So let's see what we have now. So last time we ended with Andy, and the next one in line is Anja, and the file says, Anja, pause after 7 seconds if you want to guess where I'm from.
Let's
Alright.
see.
Hallo zusammen, ich bin Anja und ich habe ein Scheiben Krüsi-Müsi in meinem Küchenkästchen.
So,
Ja, das war
No, Jorge Raschle.
I didn't
no
understand
clue.
everything, but I mean, she said,
Hi, ich bin-
Hoitzama
Ich bin Anja.
Aha, ich bin Anja. And then I didn't something about regelmäßig is what I
Yeah,
thought.
I
Or
kinda-
she said something about müsli. One of the two. But I think it's regelmäßig because do you know what Rüchli means?
No, but let me say
Yes.
this. From just not understanding it, but just from like me hearing it, I kind of thought she said something like she likes our podcast or listens to our podcast,
No.
but that might have not been it.
I missed the thing that connected what she said before to Rüchli.
Yeah.
But that means Küchenschrank. So it's a kitchen cabinet.
Why would she
So-
say that?
That's what I'm trying to... Can you play it one more time?
yeah.
Hallo zusammen, ich bin Anja und ich habe ein Scheiben Krüsi-Müsi in meinem Küchenkästchen.
So,
Musi Musi.
so like
In
I
the
said, I
Küchenkästchen.
heard regelmäßig,
Yeah.
but regelmäßig Rüchli doesn't make sense. So
And you're 100% sure that it's, what'd you say, Küchenschrank?
yeah, I'm 100% sure of that. Because
So,
that's like the
like kitchen
typical word that
cabinet?
Swiss people teach non-Swiss.
Oh, got it.
So Küche is Küche and Kästli is Kasten.
Oh, so she probably just like jumped right into her thing and just gave us like the hardest thing.
Possibly.
Like to
Ja, das
understand.
war Schweizerdeutsch und übersetzt bedeutet es: Hallo zusammen, ich bin Anja und ich habe einen riesen Durcheinander in meinem Küchenschrank.
Okay, so I
Ein
missed the
Durcheinander.
Riesen Durcheinander.
Okay, so what she said is obviously it was Swiss German. We like both recognized that right away, so it wasn't too bad that I didn't pause after the 7 seconds. It's pretty obvious, but she said that hi guys, I'm Anja, and I have a big mess in my kitchen cabinet.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But now I'm confused why I didn't understand.
Do you want to hear it one more time?
One more time, just
One
for my
last time.
interest.
Hallo zusammen, ich bin Anja und ich habe ein Scheiben Krüsi-Müsi in meinem Küchenkästchen.
Ich han, so ich habe.
Yeah.
So I missed
understood that.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it makes more sense. I understood that somewhat before.
And then but what's
but
the
what
chaos
the Durcheinander,
part?
I
Okay,
didn't
the
understand.
Durcheinander, yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
well. Let us know in the comments.
Let's keep listening because her message isn't over yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was Swiss German and it translates to: Hi, my name is Anja and there's a really big mess in my kitchen cabinet. And I chose this somewhat unusual sentence because it contains a lot of the sounds,
Yeah.
which is kind of a signature sound in the Swiss dialect, especially the one spoken in the canton of Zurich. And that's where I was born and raised. And I love listening to your podcast because my dad is American and my mom is from Germany, so I can kind of relate to the both of you. Lots of love from Switzerland.
That's interesting.
Merci
So she's
vielmals.
half American, half German, but grew up and lives in Switzerland.
Yeah.
That's cool. And she
Interesting.
said she's from Zurich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she speaks Zürichdeutsch.
Yeah. So that
So
like
in
Canton
Switzerland,
is like
each
their,
canton
yeah.
has a different dialect.
How
too.
do you say like canton in English?
Canton, I think.
Canton?
It's like each state, basically.
Yeah. All right. The next one comes from Julia Stoll, I believe, or Julia Stoll, but probably
Probably German.
And it says dialect examples.
Hi, Josh and Feli. I noticed in the last episode that there was no example from my region, so I thought I'd contribute this time. Like the others have done, I will say a sentence in my dialect, then in standard German.
Pause it real quick.
I
She's
hear-
in the U.S.
I know. I hear an American siren.
Yeah, you can hear the American. I think it's an ambulance or police car maybe
Yeah.
in the background. So
yeah,
she's
I was
definitely in
thinking
the
the
U.S.
same thing. I was like,
Or at least North
obviously this
America.
is not a German siren. And we've talked about sirens
Yes.
before too.
And then in English. Ich komme am liebsten, wenn schon geschafft ist, aber noch nicht gegessen.
Okay. Did you understand that?
It's something. Let's play it one more time because I was still on the siren in my brain.
Oh yeah. It was pretty quick.
German, and then in English. Ich komme am liebsten, wenn schon geschafft ist, aber noch nicht gegessen.
Ich kann am liebsten, wenn es.
Ich komme am liebsten,
Oh,
wenn schon
no.
gearbeitet.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, ich kann am liebsten und dann schaften is arbeiten in Southwest Germany / Switzerland. So
Yeah, and then what
I
was
forget
the
what she
rest?
said at the
Oh
end.
yeah. Hold on. I forget too. Like I understood it, but aber noch nicht gegessen ist, I think.
okay,
Ich komme am liebsten, wenn schon geschafft ist, aber noch nicht gegessen.
aber ja. Mhm.
So, ja, also ich komme am liebsten, wenn schon gearbeitet wurde, aber noch nicht gegessen wurde.
Yeah.
Basically.
I heard gestern, but
Oh.
it doesn't make sense.
Let's see
so.
what she
Ich
says.
komme am liebsten, wenn schon gearbeitet wurde, aber noch nicht gegessen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So I guess that like is a saying. Basically, it means I like to come or like I like to join. I would probably translate it after the work has been done, but before the meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you eat. So I guess that's like something that people would say that, you know, they don't want to help working people, but they want to like enjoy the fun part of the day.
Exactly. It's like when you help someone with a move and you don't actually help with the move, you just show up for the pizza and beer after.
Yeah.
Is that like a Germany-wide saying?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. And also, I always do this thing where I listen to what they're saying, but I don't pay attention to what dialect this could be. So I
it
gotta
definitely
listen
was
more.
Southwest Germany for me. I just don't know which one.
Ich komme am liebsten, wenn schon geschafft ist, aber noch nicht gegessen.
Ja, Schwäbisch, oder?
Yeah, Schwäbisch or Badisch is what I would
Ich
think.
komme am liebsten, wenn schon gearbeitet wurde, aber noch nicht gegessen. I prefer to come when the work is done, but not the eating. So ein Liedrichs Klump, da ist alles Zeichnas. Guck mal, ob der Schraubenzieher in der Kruschelschublade ist.
Okay, I didn't fully understand the first part.
Yeah, neither did I.
Let's listen one more time.
So ein Liedrichs Klump, da ist alles Zeichnas. Guck mal, ob der Schraubenzieher in der Kruschelschublade ist.
Something about everything being nass.
Yes, everything being wet.
So like they use some dialect word for like Alter or like you person.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
So a Letrix Klump or something I heard. So Klump means like piece of
Junk. Yeah.
And I don't know if she said like ledrig as in like it's made out of leather or something
okay.
like that, or if it's just like an adjective saying like such a shitty junk.
Yeah.
Everything's wet in here. And then she said,
Find
schau mal in der Kruschelschublade oder schau mal, ob der Schraubenzieher in der Kruschelschublade ist.
Yeah, exactly. So see if the screwdriver is in the kitchen drawer.
Yeah, isn't there like the junk drawer basically?
The junk drawer, yeah. Uh-huh.
So ein wertloser Schrott. Da ist alles komplett nass. Schau mal, ob der Schraubenzieher in der Stöberschublade ist.
And
Stöberschublade.
Stöber, I don't know that. Is that junk drawer?
Yeah, I've never heard that term. Like stöbern means to like, do you know what stöbern means? See, I don't know how to like translate it into English, but if you look through stuff to find something, or if you just like look through a store, but you're not trying to buy anything.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
Is it kind of like, is schmückern also a is that
I don't
a
think
word?
I know schmückern.
Or schmücker?
Oh, schmökern.
Schmökern, yeah.
Schmökern, I would say is more
with the book?
like reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stöbern, to browse, to query.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
it's
you'd
query,
use
but
it
yeah.
like, what, query?
Query.
Query, even though
think.
it's spelled with an A.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know, it's spelled with an A.
I think you're right. Then.
I don't know, I've never heard this word before.
I wouldn't
I'm
say
lost.
it, so.
But anyways, not quite sure if you would like use the English words the same way, but I've never said Stöberschublade. I would always say, I don't even know what I would say. Kruschelschublade, maybe not something that I said growing up, but I would have understood it. I don't know, guys. What do you call that drawer? Everyone has that drawer.
Yeah, a junk drawer.
I probably had a name for it growing up, but I can't think of it right now. All right, there's more from Julia, so let's keep listening.
What a worthless piece of junk. Everything is completely wet. See if the screwdriver is in the rummage drawer.
Rummage drawer, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that as well. It's not something I would say.
Rummage.
So like rummage is just junk. So you can have a rummage sale.
Yeah.
Like a junk sale.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
Is
you
it
can also
American English?
I think so.
Okay.
You can like rummage through something as well.
See, learning things.
Yeah.
And something my grandfather would say, net geschimpft ist genug gelobt.
Yeah.
Nicht
They say that in Bavaria too.
Net geschimpft ist genug. How did she pronounce it? Net geschimpft ist genug gelobt? Genug gelobt?
We're Bavarianizing it.
And something my grandfather would say, net geschimpft ist genug gelobt.
Ist genug gelobt. So not being yelled at or not being...
We talked about schimpfen in the last dialects episode as well. It's difficult to explain.
I don't know how to translate schimpfen, but...
So someone not being upset with you is enough praise.
Yeah, which is actually a thing that's kind of true in Germany. People will also say like, da kann man nicht meckern. You can't complain about that, which is kind of like a praise and a compliment in German.
Yeah.
Nicht geschimpft ist genug gelobt. Not scolded is praised enough.
Scolded, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, scolded can only be the translation in this specific context and not if you just schimpfen, like, with yourself. If you just, like, cuss around, you can't use that word as a translation. And then Julia sent us another one where it just says where she's from.
So if you haven't guessed already, that was Swabian.
Okay.
So
I am from a
Schwäbisch.
small town about halfway between Stuttgart and Karlsruhe. So that's very close to the old border between Baden and Württemberg. And I'm sure that means that I have some Badish influences as well in my dialect.
Cool.
Cool. So
Thank you, Julia.
both guesses were kind of correct, I guess.
I mean, that's always my go-to because I can't tell the difference between Badish
I
and,
can't really
and
tell
Schwäbisch,
it
so I
either.
always just say both just to be safe.
I feel like Schwäbisch sounds more familiar because I feel like you hear it more, but that's it. So like if it sounded a little odd, I'd be like, oh, maybe this is Badish instead of Schwäbisch, but basically it sounds just very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is from Alex, which I think he sent us something in the last episode too. The title is just, "This is a good one. Thanks, guys."
Hey guys, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I think I have a pretty normal Midwestern accent. However, I recently moved to Kansas for university and have
doesn't
found out
have a
that I
typical
an accent
Midwest.
in certain words and sounds.
What'd you say?
He doesn't sound particularly typical Midwest
Midwestern?
to
No,
me.
he
I
does
mean, not that
sound
I
more
necessarily
Southern.
sound the most Midwestern, but you can tell that it's closer to the South.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I first heard him in the last episode.
For example, one of the words is quarter. I pronounce it like it rhymes with water instead of quarter, I think. I don't know. I'm not really sure how other people say it.
I would say quarter, and he says quarter.
Yeah, quarter. Isn't like, what's the Cincinnati thing where people say warsher?
Yeah, Warsh. That's also, I think, like an Appalachian thing that has come
Yeah.
to Cincinnati or like Southwest Ohio
Does
at
that
least.
sound similar to you? Like that kind of reminds me of that to pronounce it like that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Not like super. It doesn't. I don't know. I think.
What are other examples for that Cincinnati thing that some people
But
do?
the thing is with Warsh, I think a lot of regions say that actually. Every
really?
region just says, oh, people where I'm from say this.
Oh, really? Okay. I
But
didn't
my
know
grandma
that.
also says toilet instead of toilet.
Okay.
Trying to think if there are any other. I don't know. I was hanging out with my grandparents this last trip, and she said theater, which is very Southern, but she doesn't
Theater?
sound like she's from the South. For theater,
Yeah.
she says theater, the
Okay.
movie theater,
Yeah. Interesting.
which, like I said, is very Southern.
yeah.
But I don't think that's particularly Cincinnati. The only Cincinnati specific thing that comes to mind, other than those two examples of Warsh and toilet, I would say is saying please, like bitte.
Right, which like people tell me all the time that people say that. I've never once heard anyone say that in Cincinnati.
I've heard it from more working class people, to be honest.
Like younger people or old people?
More like middle-aged people, middle-aged to
So
old.
we should explain. So, I mean, for me, I've, as I said, never actually heard anyone use it.
Mm-hmm.
But people say that because of the German heritage in Cincinnati, people in Cincinnati actually will say please instead of you're welcome.
No,
right?
it's please instead of pardon. Like if I don't understand you,
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it was instead of you're welcome.
no, if I don't understand something you
so-
say, and
please?
it's like it would be like saying in German wie bitte.
But wie bitte isn't please. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, exactly. It comes away. It comes away from. It derives from people who wouldn't say wie bitte. They would just say bitte,
Bitte?
and then it's a false translation in that context.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure people have explained this to me correctly in the past, but I might have like remembered it wrong. So, okay. So that people say that instead of pardon me or like, can you repeat that? They will say please because of the German heritage, which, yeah, I've just
It's
never
not
heard anyone
super
say that.
common, but I've heard it every once in a
Okay,
while.
interesting.
But we don't say quarter.
Yeah. How do I say it? Quarter. Quarter. Now I don't
I think
even
you
know.
say it kind of like
Quarter.
I do, like quarter.
I need a couple quarters. Now I feel like I say it weird. Do you have a quarter? Now I say it weird as fuck. Quarter. I don't know.
Quarter. But it comes from. I mean, it makes sense too. Do you know what a quart is?
I mean, a fourth of something.
Yeah,
Or
but it's
like
also a
vox,
measure. It's
as in-
a measure of volume as well. So you have a gallon.
Oh.
Then you have quarts. Then you
Okay.
have pints. Then you have cups.
I did not know a quart. No.
So a quart is a thing as well. You can, I think, get like a quart of milk as well.
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
It's not
Okay.
super common, but I would say quart. I wonder if he says quart.
Quart. Let's keep listening.
And then also, people from St. Louis pronounce something called the caught merger, I
Yeah.
recently learned, which is a series of sounds that most people pronounce the same in the United States, but we pronounce differently. For example,
What did he say?
It's the cot. So in my accent, I say them the same. Cot. So like, do you know what a cot is that you sleep on?
Oh yeah.
So that's spelled C-O-T and
Uh-huh.
pronounced cot. And then like to catch, the past participle
Caught.
is caught.
Yeah.
But I would say caught. Some people say like more caught.
Yeah. I would say it more like that.
Or like if you want to take it really extreme, like New York would be
caught.
caught.
Quat.
So I would just say caught Like I caught
the
a
same.
ball. Sometimes I make a slight difference. Like I caught a ball as
Isn't
opposed
it like
to caught.
longer for to catch? Like I caught. I mean, I say it differently, anyways.
Yeah. Caught. So I sleep on a cot, and I caught.
So
or
it's the
caught
same.
a ball. This difference is so slight. The Germans are probably like, "What are they talking about?" But yeah, the difference is between caught and caught.
Well, the first time you said it exactly the
Exactly.
same.
So
and then you
sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes I make the difference. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
For example, the namesake caught and caught, such as I caught a bed on the ground and I caught a fish. Another example of this would be gnawed, like a dog gnawed on a bone, and nod.
Ah,
like
okay.
nod my head. We pronounce them differently.
Do you know this? So to nod your head.
Yeah.
So that for me would be nod,
Right.
and then to gnaw, GNAW. Like you,
To
a
like
dog.
nagen, oder?
I don't know
No?
the German word for it, but like if a dog has a bone and they're like biting on it,
Yeah.
and like to help their teeth or make their teeth feel better, or like if a child is teething, they can get like gnawing toys.
Yeah, I think that's like nagen.
Maybe.
Hold on, you spell it G-N.
I think you spell it GNAW. I think it's not a word that you spell very often.
Kauen, yeah.
Yeah, kauen.
Yeah, but nagen is like the word that you would use.
Nagen?
Like, yeah, and it was,
NAGEN.
yes. So for example, if you're at Oktoberfest, dann kannst du das Fleisch vom Knochen abnagen.
Ah, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the difference between nod and gnaw.
To nod. I mean, I don't even use that word, so I wouldn't even know
Yeah.
how I would pronounce it. Gnaw. I'd probably pronounce it more like narrow from like what it's spelled, but that's nothing that you can really rely on with English anyways.
Yeah.
I'm nodding. See, as soon as we talk about these words, I don't even know how I usually pronounce them.
That's my issue too.
Are you nodding? All right, I'm not. That sounds so weird now.
I'm nodding my head and I gnaw
Nodding.
on a bone.
Also, we call stuff soda Josh, not pop.
What
And
was
they
the
say
last thing he said about soda and pop?
I think he said we call it soda Josh, not pop.
Yeah, okay. Well, he already said that in the last recording. He might have thought that maybe the last recording didn't go through or something.
That's possible.
All right, the next one. Well, thanks again, Alex,
thank
for
you,
that.
Alex.
Okay, the next one comes from Benjamin Z or Benjamin Z. Either way, but no, actually, now that I'm seeing the title, it says, guess my accent. But then it says where he's from. Damn it.
I don't know though, so don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
Hello, Josh and Philly. This is Benjamin from New York.
Hi.
I've quite enjoyed your podcast and your videos.
From New York. Okay, he must
especially
live in New
Philly.
York.
Started
What?
He must live in New York, but he's not from New York.
Right, yeah, okay.
off watching your videos a while back.
I mean, he
and
sounds
then
British.
I'm very glad you joined effort with Josh, and I really like hearing you guys talking about your experiences and
I
cultural
don't think he's actually British.
differences.
What do you think he is?
I don't know, but something it doesn't.
Australian?
I don't know. It's a weird mix.
I think he's British.
This is an impromptu speech, and therefore I may appear to be a little speechless. Didn't get a chance to prepare, but here's the chance for you to listen to some of my babbling with no filters on.
I mean, it definitely
All right,
sounds
I'm
more
still
British than
trying to
anything
figure
else.
out. 10 seconds left, but I guess I'll just cut it short and give you back 8 seconds of your life. Thank you.
He didn't say what his accent was,
He
though.
didn't. Oh no.
Wait, was he trying, was he saying that that's his New York accent? There's no way.
That's not a New York accent.
No.
Like I said, it almost sounds like to me at least, and I could be completely wrong. I don't have too much exposure to real life British accents, as opposed to what you see like in media. But it almost sounded like someone who had learned English with a British accent. Like some of the consonants sounded a little too hard, I think. And some of the vowel sounds sounded British, and then some of them somewhat sounded Australian to me. So just because of the mixture of a few different aspects, that's why I said I don't think he necessarily sounds British, but it could just be a British accent that I'm not used to.
Yeah, there's so many. I did a high school exchange in the area of Liverpool when I was 15. I couldn't understand a word. And I was used to hearing London British English, and I could not understand these people at all. But I mean, maybe he's someone who doesn't speak English natively then.
Possibly.
Or that's my second guess would have been Australia, but it didn't sound like an Australian accent to me though.
No, another thing that happens too is when you move to another English speaking country, your accent tends to change somewhat, a little.
Yeah.
So if he's British and then has moved to the US, maybe that would explain some of the inconsistencies or some of the little things that I thought, maybe he's not actually British.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, too bad we don't know.
Maybe, Benjamin, if you're listening to this episode, which you hopefully are, let us know in the comments what your accent actually is. I thought he sounded 100% British.
Yeah, I was waiting for like a grammar mistake or something to help, but it didn't happen. So
no, I mean, also like apparently he lives in New York, so that could have just been it.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. Too bad we don't know where you're from.
Yeah. Okay. The next one comes from Thomas G.
Thomas G.
I think it's Thomas G.
Hello, Josh and Feely.
No.
My name is Thomas and I really enjoy your podcast.
I was wrong.
I've listened to every episode from right back when you started.
He's Australian.
I set aside 90 minutes every second.
He might be New Zealand. He might be a Kiwi.
Okay, no, New Zealanders do the A sound really strongly. Hold on, let's listen one more time.
Hello, Josh and Feely. My name is Thomas and I really enjoy your podcast. I've listened to every episode from right back when you started. I set aside 90 minutes every second weekend so
I think it's more Australian.
My parents are both German, but I was born and raised in another country. I can't really speak German, but I can follow a conversation and I generally know what people are talking about. Can you guess by my accent where I'm from?
I was like waiting for a word with an A, and I think he only did weekend. I think only weekend was the only one.
Yeah.
Or did he say weekend? What was it? He said one like word
with that sound. I was listening for the same sound.
Like a Kiwi.
Yeah, I think he's Australian.
He's Australian for sure.
But that's something that is somewhat difficult if you don't have a lot of exposure to both accents to hear the difference between.
Yeah, there's a few YouTubers from New Zealand and you can hear it very clearly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Jamie's World, she was really big a few years ago. She was just like, she did like comedy skits. Mm-hmm. And she has a very strongly, the A sound.
Yeah, like one thing that they do too, like on fish and chips, they would say fish and chips.
Oh, really? They do that?
Or something close to that. That's like probably not the best example.
What's like a good example for like a word with the A sound? I think they say like weekend. Like, no, that wasn't a good example, but like, give me a word that like...
I don't know. Like I said, I don't have enough exposure to really speak too much on the topic.
But they basically do a whole lot more of a German A sound almost.
In the vowels, yeah, they're just different vowel sounds that you don't get in any other English-speaking accent, really.
Yeah. Okay, the next and last one comes from Reinhard.
Hallo, servus.
Hallo, servus.
Ich habe für euch einen einfachen deutschen Dialektbegriff, der deshalb interessant ist, weil er im Englischen exakt gleich geschrieben wird. Und zwar lautet dieser Begriff Sohn. Sohn.
Okay, so what he said so far is Hallo Servus, which you guys should know that from my videos, basically just saying hi. And that he has a dialect word for us that's really interesting because it's spelled the exact same in English. And then he said soon is what I heard.
Yeah, he sounds Austrian to me. So, you don't think so? Play it again.
I thought he was just Bavarian.
I think he might be Austrian. I could be wrong.
Hallo, servus. Ich habe für euch einen einfachen deutschen Dialekt.
He might be from Oberösterreich.
Yeah, I think he's Oberösterreich.
Der deshalb interessant ist, weil er im Englischen exakt gleich geschrieben wird. Und zwar lautet dieser Begriff Sohn. Sohn.
Sohn.
Eine Idee?
So it could
ist, glaube ich, ganz einfach.
I think it might be spelt like sun, S-U-N, Sohn. But it sounds like soon.
But like, did he say it like he said it in German, right?
Yeah, he said he said it's a dialect
like,
word.
I don't know the word
though, so I'm trying to think if there's.
But he said it's spelled the same.
Exactly.
So he would mean like it's spelled S-O-N.
No, I think S-U-N.
S-U-N. What's that mean in English?
Sun, the sun, die Sonne.
Oh. Oh my god! I was so like focused on like sun as in like a like Sohn.
Yeah.
Because that was also like okay, soon.
Soon.
Totally.
Because it sounds like someone with a really heavy German-speaking accent saying soon.
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 I feel like it sounds like a noun for sure.
Yeah.
To me, like if it's a German dialect word, I don't think it would be an adjective or a verb. I think it'd be a noun, but other than that, I can't really tell what it would mean.
Neither do I. I don't know. Without context, I don't know.
No, it's like heart without context.
Ist, glaube ich, ganz einfach. Sohn bedeutet im bayerisch-österreichischen Dialekt Sonne or sun in English. Ciao.
Okay,
so it literally means the same too.
So yeah, it means the same and it's spelled the same.
So it's soon in. Or did he say soon or
he says soon?
Soon. So it's that in the Bavarian Austrian dialect, which is what he said. So now we don't even know where he's from exactly. He might be from the border.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell because he doesn't sound 100% Austrian to me, but he could be from Austria.
Yeah.
Like he has.
To me, he sounds Austrian, but that's just the way that he sounds to me.
Yeah, but
just
he
like
said,
some of the gleich, like some of like.
But he didn't say it that strongly. That's the
Not
thing.
that
like
strongly.
He said it very slightly. So like if he was from like Linz, that could work. But Linz people usually speak stronger even.
Yeah. No,
that. So he might be from the border, probably from the Austrian
But I've never
side.
heard someone say Zoon.
No, me either. So
that's why I wonder if it's more Austrian than actually Bavarian.
Yeah.
But I also
that,
don't talk about the sun too often.
Bavarian dialects, there's so many.
Yeah.
Like people have different words in every village, basically. But so Zoon in Bavarian Austrian dialect and sun in English, and it means the same and it's spelled the same.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard that before.
I didn't know that
What was
either.
his name again? Reinhard?
Reinhard.
Thank you, Reinhard.
Yes, thank you. And that was the last one for today, which is cool because now we actually like caught up with our voice messages,
Yes.
which I didn't even expect that we would anytime soon. But it's also, I think, because the last dialect episode hasn't come out at this point in time where we're recording. So I think if that had already come out, you guys would have already sent us new ones. But that hasn't happened yet. So we said in the last episode that we might make this like a series, like an ongoing thing. So if you want to submit new voice messages, you can. You can do that on anchor.fm/understanding train station, and then you just gotta scroll down a little bit, and then you'll find this little button that says plus message, or maybe, I don't know, if you access it in Germany, it might say plus Nachricht or something like that. But you just gotta hit that, and then you can record a 1 minute long voice message for us.
Yeah, we would be really happy if you guys sent us some messages so we can continue this series. But I think we'll probably get some when the other dialect episode
but also
is
we
published.
can't really do it. I mean, we can try and do it over the distance, but I think it's more likely that we're going to do it next time that we're together, which isn't going to be probably until Christmas. So it's definitely going to be a while until you hear the next episode too, which might be good because now we just recorded 2 of these, so you might be sick of this anyways, or have enough for now at least. But yeah, if you guys want to listen to the other episodes where we guest dialects, we are going to link them all down below in the YouTube description box or the show notes if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And we also had a whole episode where we just talked about dialects in general, where we kind of tried to list a lot of them and give some examples both in the US and in Germany. It wasn't really a researched episode. It was more just like a brainstorming episode. But if you want to listen to that one, we're going to link that one down below as well. And I feel like I have nothing else to say anymore.
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking for a while. And I mean, you guys got a lot of just word vomit at the beginning of us just catching up. So hopefully you guys found that interesting too, just to hear some of our traveling stories and us talking about our experiences. It really is just like a normal conversation that we would have.
The life of a jet setter. Or like, what's like...
Sounds more glamorous than it is.
Globetrotter. What's like...
Is a globetrotter.
Globetrotter.
I didn't know you... What do you... Globetrotter.
Globetrotter. I can't even speak German either. Like, this is the kind of day I'm having. I can't speak either language, so don't blame me about my English. Globetrotter. Yeah. Globetrotter.
Yeah.
Jet setter. What's another word?
Pretentious.
Digital nomad. Yeah, pretentious.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I felt a little bad, and I think... So in the comment section of the video with my high school German teacher, with Christina, someone wrote, "Aren't you guys a little sick, or don't you think that you're taking this patting yourself on the back for reaching your second language, or reaching an advanced second language a little too much?" I'm like, I don't know.
Did we do that though?
I don't think so. And that's not our intention, obviously.
No.
We just enjoy sharing our experiences, and I can see how it might come off that way, but...
I honestly, I'm not trying to be like defensive or anything, but I don't see how that came off like that in that episode. It's like a stated fact that Josh basically sounds like a native speaker when he speaks German. Obviously, we both have a lot of words that we don't know in the other language. Like, you could just tell it from today. My English was kind of rusty, and I didn't understand a lot of the words that were said in the dialects voice messages. So, like, obviously, neither of us would say that our German or English skills are perfect.
No, by no means.
Well, you know, we talked about his German skills with his
Exactly.
German high school teacher who taught him German from scratch. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm all comments are welcome, you know. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes you're like, oh, okay, interesting. But like I said, I could see a little how it could could be
maybe.
interpreted that way, but that's
But I mean, that's obviously not what we're trying to convey, and that's also not how we feel about it.
by no
So-
means. The other day we were talking and we were like, yeah, we both feel like we've reached a level where like
We're like plateauing.
we're plateauing and you really would have to invest a lot of effort to really take it even further.
Yeah, I feel like I reached that level a few years ago,
Yeah.
which is sad because you'd think that living in that country more permanently, because at first it was more temporary for me, and you'd think moving there more permanently would actually help with your language skills, but I feel like nothing really changed since then.
Yeah.
Like I've kept my mistakes. I've maybe learned a couple words here and there. Like for example, today I learned one new word, which
Do you
I already
remember it?
forgot again. No, I forgot.
I think it's easier for me to
Rummaging?
Nagen.
No, what was it? The durchwühlen.
rummage. Yeah.
Rummage. Okay, I see it. I said rummage, but yeah, rummage.
Rummage.
So I would have understood that next time if I had heard it
Yeah.
somewhere for sure. Like I would have like, oh yeah, I remember Josh taught me this word.
I forget what the German one was. How do you say it in German?
Nagen.
No. Rummage.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, wühlen. We
No,
didn't
no,
really
no.
talk
No,
about
no,
that.
no, for the drawer.
We didn't. I didn't. Oh, she said that. Stöbern.
Stöbern.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stöbern.
Yeah. So those are like the examples, but we're getting back onto just
I'm totally confused today. Like I'm really jet lagged. Anyways,
Lots of chaos
yeah,
today.
we're gonna let you guys go now. If you want to comment on this episode or any previous episode, you can do so in the YouTube comments down below. Or of course, if you're listening on the audio version, you can either just go over to YouTube or you can shoot us an email at understandingtrainstation@gmail.com.
Another thing that we haven't mentioned in a
Yeah.
while is to leave a review
I
on
was just
whatever
gonna say the same
Okay,
thing.
yeah. I was going to say we haven't said it in a while,
Yeah.
but you can always leave a review like on Apple Podcasts or
I think
wherever.
that's it.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
just on the Apple Podcasts, but we would love to see your guys' reviews
Yeah.
there and just hear back from you there as well.
Yeah, it's cool too. I think I mentioned this before, but there is a different Apple Podcast universe, whether you're accessing the German one or the American one.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, I accessed the German one for the first time because I like looked it up on my browser and I was like, oh wow, there's so many German reviews too that I'd never seen
Yeah.
before because my phone is set to America and then it doesn't even show up. So like,
I just had to switch my phone to German, or to the German like Apple store.
oh really?
Yeah, because I had to download the COVID app, and it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
available in the American
Yeah.
in the American store. So I need to get on and look at some of the comments.
Yeah,
in the
now you
German
can
one.
only see the German ones,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your reviews. We love seeing them. And then you can also support our podcast another way. Of course, you can also subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube. And then you can also support us on patreon.com/understandingtrainstation or on buymeacoffee.com/UTS podcast.
We're gonna make it to the end, Feli. We could do it.
I'm trying so hard. Yeah, if you support us on there, thank you so much. And then I'm also putting the link to our merch down below. It's on felifromgermany.com, and then there's a little Understanding Train Station section there to get a t-shirt or a coffee mug or whatever you want to get. Yeah, and then I guess you're gonna hear us
In
on
2 weeks.
Thursday in 2 weeks.
We'll talk to you then. Ciao.